The final of this very, very good tournament between two very good players, Andre Agassi and Brad Gilbert. The match point yesterday, Andre Agassi versus a left-hander who he managed to beat in 2 straight sets. Jeff Tarango, tough player who'd had a very good run so far in this tournament. Andre Agassi still not having lost a set so far in this tournament. And also the other semi-final, great pity, but Jimmy Connors had to retire early against Brad Gilbert.
Our commentators are Bill McKay and Tim Mayotte.
There is Steve Ulrich in the chair from Tampa, Florida. He has been very busy all week long. Agassi, near court, Gilbert in the far court. First game, first set. Yes, it's good. Look at their records here in San Francisco, Tim.
Very solid performance. And surprisingly, Gilbert loves to play here at home in San Francisco. A lot of guys get nervous on their home court, but not Brad Gilbert. He eats it up. And Agassi is very solid. Only 1 loss so far on this court.
And that was the one to Gilbert, 6-1, 6-2. And I'm sure Bradley hopes that Agassi is thinking about that today. Somehow, I don't think he is. 15 love. We should mention that this particular court, as we look at a full house here at the Civic Auditorium, this court is called a plexi court. It's like an outdoor California cement court, no seams, and it has been playing a little on the slow side, Tim. I think we'll see a lot of rallies here today.
But the players have felt it's sped up through the week as some of the grit has come off the surface, so it's a little quicker now than when the tournament started on Monday.
No, Gilbert overhits. I'll tell you what, they've played 3 points, and Bradley's trying to get a little wind already. That is hard work out there. Agassi loves to run his opponent from side to side.
Well, he can create angles a lot of players can't dream of creating, and hit a few sidelines throughout that point.
Finally missing with a forehand.
Gilbert said before the match he has to get Agassi's serve back behind the service line, because if that return is short, then Agassi's going to jump all over Gilbert's return with his big forehand.
Agassi trying to spin that first serve out wide, just misses. Oh, yes, Agassi with the half volley. And so Andre Agassi holds. It's 1 love, first set.
What's it like being pampered like a princess?
Welcome back to Volvo Tennis San Francisco. Brad Gilbert serving now in the second game of the first set. Agassi holding in the first game. It's too good.
Well, we talked about transition. That was a nice approach shot from Brad Gilbert to get into net, but too good. There's Brad's coach, Tom Shivington. Brad and Tom have been together for 9 or 10 years, one of the most long-lived relationships out here in the tour, where players tend to switch coaches quite often.
He is the coach down at Foothill College, just south of San Francisco, and has been there for a number of years. He and Dick Gould, of course, the coach at Stanford, Tim, good friends, and they've worked together on many great tennis projects through the years.
Well, both institutions here in the Bay Area, both producing a number of top players.
Yes, Gilbert. And I'll tell you what, he's going to have to start serving pretty similar to that. His first service ace of the day.
And the problem Gilbert faces is he needs to get a lot of first serves in. You can see Brad, a perennial winner on the tour, although he hasn't won in 2 years. Gilbert needs to get a lot of first serves in, but he also has to go for a big first serve if he's going to be able to get to net.
If I'm playing Agassi, I do not want to get into too many rallies. And the way to avoid that, obviously, is to serve aces, but it's not that easy. I thought Andre was coming in behind that ball, but he elected to stay back.
Agassi a little hesitant to get into net, but this big forehand wins the point anyway. You can see him right at midcourt, goes back. Maybe Brad took his eye off the ball, lost his concentration with that little head fake from Agassi.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fake, Tim. He looked like he was coming in, and I'm sure Brad thought he was coming in. No call. Right on the center service line. And so Gilbert, a timely ace, down 15-30. 101 miles per hour on the IBM radar clock. The key here for Brad now is to get into the match, don't you, Tim? He doesn't want to get blown off the court by this guy Agassi, who's been doing it all week long.
As we said, Agassi, a great front runner.
Ooh, that hurts him. After 2 aces, Gilbert dishes up his first double fault. What a time for it. Puts him down. Break point.
That's been Gilbert's Achilles heel his whole career. That short second serve.
Big serve. That's definitely his best serve from the ad court, down the middle.
He's a little more versatile in the deuce court, where he can go down the middle or out wide.
He's trying to spin it out wide. Didn't work. Yes, he finally hits the good forehand approach.
That was vintage Gilbert. This is what he does better than anybody. Makes the transition into the net. You can see him taking that ball on the move, cuts off the angle, and draws the bad backhand from Agassi.
That's the best ball he's hit so far. A lot of pace on that ball. Ooh, just catches the top. I thought for a minute that ball was going to climb over. Agassi would have had no play on it. He was well behind the baseline.
You can see that black and red ribbon there Andre's wearing. We'll try to get a shot of it later. He's wearing that in honor of Arthur Ashe, he told me before the match.
Went for it. I'll tell you what, if Gilbert has to work this hard on every one of his own service games, he's in for a long afternoon or a short afternoon.
Gilbert, as you see, does not hit the ball very hard all the time. That's an extremely high conversion ratio there for Andre Agassi. Of course, the best return in the game now. Gilbert desperately needing a first serve, and he's gone down the middle on every one this game so far.
Too tough.
Brad told me he can't afford to hit any short second serves, and he pays a big price on this first break point. Agassi pummels that first forehand, then comes in and just mops up with an easy second one.
We talk about intense. This guy is really all business. We talked about it earlier as we looked at this packed house here for the finals at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. And Gilbert with his hands full now, down a break, down 2-love in the first set. It's best of 3 for the title.
15.
You can bet this crowd will start pulling for Gilbert to get in this match. He's the hometown boy here. Big following. Close. And I think even Andre thought that that forehand that he hit was long. Third game.
A consistent performer in all the slams throughout last year, but been in a lot of finals. It was nice to see him break through and win Wimbledon.
That was an amazing win, I thought, Tim. He won it from the backcourt.
30-15.
Gilbert very unhappy with the call. The interesting thing, though, Barry, about Agassi winning Wimbledon, some people forget Agassi avoided Wimbledon like the plague in his early part of his career. Said he didn't want to play on grass. And who would have thought it's the first major that he wins?
No, Gilbert trying to make it a little too good.
Gilbert sets this point up perfectly. He gets a short ball from Agassi. Nice transition and a routine volley that Gilbert just massages wide.
Don't you think, though, when you volley against Agassi, you try and make that volley a little too good?
Absolutely. Moves so well. He's got those great passing shots.
It's long. Just long. Gilbert thought he had it. But he doesn't. 3-love Agassi, first set.
If you start thinking.
BG.
Yeah. Welcome back to center court here at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, where Brad Gilbert is down 3-love to Andre Agassi in the finals. Oh, it's going to go long.
This is sneak attack Gilbert style. Nice backhand down the line. He sees he's got good position, comes in and really sticks the backhand volley this time. Agassi got that lob up, but just couldn't control it.
That's the kind of backhand he wanted to hit on that first backhand volley, but pushed it a little too far. 15-love. And a big serve from Gilbert. He's going to have to serve that way to stay in this match.
See Agassi's focus there. No theatrics this week from him. No antics. Not playing with the crowd. Just all business.
About the most he's done, Tim, as he walks out for each match is kind of wave to the crowd, does his traditional 360, and goes on about his job.
I remember playing him in 1988. He would come out with a dozen roses in his hand, take off his shirt, throw it in the crowd. Girls were going crazy. Gilbert showing great reflexes. A little wry smile there from Gilbert. He can't believe it. Twice this ball ticks the top of the net. Gilbert with good hands there. That one actually caught top of the net. Again, second time. Great hands from Gilbert. But he's a sitting duck. He covers the cross court, and Agassi goes down the line with the winner.
And while we were on that replay, Andre Agassi walked over to his bag with the racket, put it away, and he has another racket now. I assume he broke a string. How tough is it, Tim, to pick up a racket that you haven't been playing with?
Well, these guys with their fine-tuned equipment now, they have a lot of rackets strung the same tension, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yes, it's good.
Just pinpoint accuracy from Agassi. Well, we talked about the forehand at the top of the show here. Big roundhouse forehand. This one catches the baseline. I remember practicing with Agassi back in '89, and he would put a dollar bill out on the court on each side, and he'd say, I'm going to hit this side, hit that side. And he would come within 6 inches all the time of hitting that dollar bill.
With the topspin shots,
with
right?
The topspin forehand. Incredible accuracy.
No, Gilbert. One of the easier backhand volleys he's had in the tournament.
Gilbert can't afford to miss these shots. Great first serve, easy backhand volley, and he goes way wide with it. Wasn't even close. Gilbert showing some signs of tension in the early going. Now he's in real trouble. Break point, second serve, already down one break. I played Brad Gilbert a lot of times, and I've never seen a second serve that big from him. Agassi was leaning to his left, had to adjust to his right, just got it back in play. But Gilbert goes inside out with the forehand. You can see Agassi committing himself to cover the forehand side. And a lot of guts for Brad Gilbert on that second serve.
I think he's just saying, Tim, that no call. Ace number 3 for Gilbert. 106 miles per hour on that radar clock. I think Gilbert's just saying to himself, I got to take some chances here. This guy is going to climb all over me otherwise.
The partisan Gilbert fans speaking their minds. Well, this is what's so infuriating about playing Andre Agassi. You think you've got the point one. He's on the full stretch, and somehow he hits a great forehand volley, forehand passing shot that Gilbert wasn't ready for. I think Gilbert thought this was going to be a winner. He didn't get down well for that forehand volley, so Agassi just covering the court like a cougar.
You know, every set seems to have one game. It's a pivotal game. This is probably the one in the first set right here. On the baseline. I'll tell you, when Agassi's missing, it's not by much. That ball just inches over the far baseline.
To me, that's a sign of a confident player. He's just flirting with those lines. On the line inside 6 inches. That one just going long.
So now a chance for Gilbert to get on the board, so to speak. He is down 3-love. This is best of 3. Oh, yes.
Agassi almost goes all the way to Oakland to get a forehand on this one. You can see him camp around. He moves outside the doubles alley, goes inside out, and hits a huge forehand. I could have used a few of those in my day.
That's amazing. Both feet off the ground, all that body weight coming into the shot. We saw Jeff Tarango yesterday not only go off the court, but he kind of gave it some body English as he hit the ball. Now Gilbert trying to just tease Agassi. That's the shot he hit so effectively against Boris Becker, the no-pace backhand.
Absolutely. Gilbert way off, 39% on that first serve, and that just won't do. You can hear it right there. Gilbert down on himself for not getting any first serves in.
Gets on the board. A very, very tough game, 3-1. Agassi didn't flinch. He saw that ball go wide. That was a tight call down the line.
That's an incredible statistic. Only once all week. Lost that in his first round match against Jonathan Stark.
That was an interesting match because Stark was bombing these big serves 120 miles per hour. Agassi, he said, can't you turn that clock off? I don't like watching that thing every time he bombs an ace past me.
Yesterday against Tarango, Agassi didn't even get to, Tarango didn't get to break point on Agassi's serve once. So total domination on his serve. Agassi kind of following Gilbert up with that off-speed first pitch there.
Yeah.
Gilbert's waiting for a big heater.
Only 82 miles per hour that first serve. He is really using a change of pace.
And this court is very gritty, so that kick serve of Agassi's going way up to the Gilbert backhand. That ball, Gilbert has to field above his shoulders, drew the short return, and Agassi got the forehand.
There is Brad's father, Barry Gilbert.
Looking a little depressed.
Gilbert with some excellent depth on that last shot. That's what he's going to have to do, don't you think, Tim, to keep Agassi from hitting winners from the baseline?
Absolutely. He's got to keep Agassi behind the baseline so Gilbert can get a little penetration, make that transition into net. Agassi plays his best when he's actually hitting the ball in front of the baseline. Like there.
No, it floats long. And so Agassi holds 4-1 Agassi, first set. Playing for the title here. They have both won this event. Gilbert winning it back at the old Cow Palace, and the last year the event was played there in 1989. And then Agassi winning the event the first year it came here to the Civic. This is the 4th year this tournament has been played, this great old building.
That ball just missed. Agassi thought he had it the whole way.
Ooh.
Gilbert doesn't do a lot with his volley. He gets it in good position. You can see him massage the ball, comes under it, and Agassi on the full run freezes Gilbert at net. And that ball just misses.
Ooh, boy, that was tight. Trouble. Oh! Agassi just belting that ball.
Looked like Andre was doing a little duck hunting there. These players are not afraid to go at each other when they're point blank at net, and Andre got a little bit overexcited.
That could have stung.
Yeah.
Gilbert, 30-15 now.
Oh, beautiful volley from Brad Gilbert.
Excellent return. I'm telling you, Gilbert's going to have to play great tennis because Agassi is not missing.
Nice 1-2 combination from Gilbert. This ball deep to Agassi's backhand, comes in, and you can see him come under the ball, just cuts it, and that ball is bending away from Agassi coming across the court. Nice position from Brad Gilbert.
Game point, Gilbert trying to end it with an ace.
And Brad is not at all happy with the calls this afternoon. Could be something to do with the fact he's down 4-1.
That's great.
Let's take a look at the notable past winners there. Agassi, Gilbert, Edberg, McEnroe, quite a lineup, but who's that at the bottom?
That's a long time ago, I'll tell you. I was back at the Berkeley Tennis Club in '59 and '60, Tim. That was the old days, but I sure enjoyed playing this event, I can tell you.
What was the paycheck there, then, Barry?
It was a nice sterling silver. I'm not sure it was sterling, but I got a nice little plate for that. It's at home.
Well, as Brad Gilbert would say, that's chopped liver. He can't come in on an approach shot like that, trying to bluff his way into net, and that won't make do with Andre Agassi and his incredible passing shots.
So Agassi now up one service break, leading 4-2.
Little sloppy backhand from Brad Gilbert. Can't afford to make these kind of easy mistakes. Not quite in position, comes under the ball. You know, interesting, Barry, Gilbert is one of the only players who does not change his grip at all when he plays tennis nowadays.
Same for both shots.
Both forehand and backhand, serve and volley, the same grip.
Oh. Speaking of the grip, I want to tell you something, Tim. He has the worst looking material. It looks like an old rug from a beat up hotel. Huh? What is that stuff on that grip?
That is actually an old shag rug. Jeez. No, that is actually a terry cloth fabric that Gilbert puts over a raw handle. That handle is formed to his hand. And
really?
He just locks it in place, and then he puts the terry cloth.
Boy, it's ugly. Yes.
Great forehand from Gilbert. But Brad feels he sweats more than almost anybody on the tour. He says he sweats in the pool. In fact, I have a Bradism there, but that is a very absorptive material. Keeps his hand dry.
No, it's going to go long. And so Agassi holds serve. He leads 5-2 in the first set.
Agassi like a rabbit out there, Barry.
He is so quick. And he's deceptive on that topspin forehand lob here.
Not quite enough shtick on these volleys from Brad Gilbert. Good position, This court is slow, and that ball sits up. You can see him moving in, and then he has to adjust to go back. Boy, Agassi can get those lobs up quickly.
Love 15. 3 points away now, Agassi, from the first set. Ooh, and Gilbert serves his third double of the match. Bad time for it. Puts him down love 30. You get the feeling he's saying to himself, I don't know what I'm going to do to pull this thing together. I mean, how is he going to win points, let alone games, as Barry Gilbert, Brad's father, looks on. I think he's looking for another seat. He usually moves up to the last row of any section quickly. Gilbert missing again with the forehand, and so now Brad Gilbert in big trouble, down love 40. Triple.
Game I'm playing.
Bradley says, what a spectacular game I'm playing. I agree. It ain't too hot, Bradley. Triple set point for Agassi.
It's great to get those seats close up when you're watching Gilbert, because you get a monologue the whole match. Brad has a talk show here in town. He does the local sports twice a week when he comes in for KFOG, and so Brad perhaps can't stop talking on or off the air. Gilbert digging himself out of a hole here, still down set point. Needs another big first serve.
Agassi drills the cross-court backhand for a winner, and so Andre Agassi has broken through once again. He wins the first set, 6-2. No, it goes long.
Agassi is just so sharp today. Of course, we talked about that plane that he just bought at the top of the show, and Andre feels very rested. In fact, he's made 2 trips back to Vegas this week during the tournament.
And a stop in L.A. to pick up his buddy John McEnroe, who was here Wednesday night, watching him play against his brother Patrick. Well, you own a 10-seat jet, you got to use it, right?
That's just plain smart, Barry.
I saw John briefly, and we were kidding about the jet. I said we used to go in these station wagons. And he said, you're not going to tell me about the old days anymore, are you? There is Patrick McEnroe. He is waiting because he and Jonathan Stark will be going in the finals of the doubles following this singles match. He and Stark, one of the best teams in the country now. The umpire calling out Steve Ulrich. You know, I was going to say, Tim, so many balls that Agassi hits, when they leave the racket, look like they're going to be 10 feet over the baseline, and somehow that tremendous topspin brings the ball in.
Well, he has that racket strung very tightly, and like you say, it looks like it's going to go long, and that ball just dips and lands right inside the baseline. Of course, that one just long.
Oh, just wide. I thought he had a winner. But Agassi holds serve. 1-love, second set. as Agassi cracks another forehand up the line. There's one of those trusty little runners. I'll tell you, without those kids, Tim, we'd be in big trouble. You never see them. They never make a mistake. And that's a great kid. But make one mistake and the entire world sees it. Tough job, but they do a super job.
I got started ball boying for Jimmy Connors, 1971 in my hometown, Springfield, Massachusetts.
No kidding. Ooh, Bradley just missing with the forehand. And he needs to hold here, Tim. He cannot let Agassi get a break early in the second set.
Gilbert just missing all day long. Well struck forehand, but it just clips the top of the net and drops back. Little samurai action.
No, Bradley gets jammed. That ball right in at his waist.
But like you said, Barry, Gilbert does not seem to have a game plan. He lost faith in that original game plan, which was massaging the ball, moving Agassi around, and now he seems to be panicking a little bit. He's got to stick with one strategy and play for it throughout the rest of this match.
And so now triple break point against Gilbert. Down love one and down a set. Andre did not miss that volley by much, just caught the tape.
A rare appearance at the net from Andre Agassi. Great approach shot. He's in position to win this point, and then a little folding on the forehand volley. You could see the racket come underneath the ball.
Finally, Gilbert gets a break. I'll tell you, he needs it.
Down, break point, goes for the big forehand, and that ball just clips over, and Agassi can't run it down. Gilbert says he's sorry, but I don't think he feels he is.
Not really. And finally, Gilbert stays alive.
Gilbert awfully lucky here because this was not a great approach shot. You can see, watches the ball, sneaks in, but Agassi doesn't do enough with the passing shot. Gilbert hits a crisp volley that draws the arrow.
That was one of those approach shots when you hit it, you say, why am I coming in behind this thing?
That's called hit and hope.
Ooh, that's a terrible feeling. Just wide. Gilbert trying to press things now. I think that's his only play, Tim.
Got to attack. Hope Agassi misses a couple passing shots. Because when Gilbert keeps having these long rallies with Agassi, Agassi gets more and more grooved. He loves the long rallies. Before the match, Agassi told me in the locker room that he hoped it was going to be a long, grinding match. He just wanted to beat Gilbert down, hitting long point after long point. And so Gilbert trying to change that up now, get into net, end these points quickly.
Ooh, that was close. It's good. Tremendous point, maybe the best rally of the match.
There's the transition game that Gilbert hasn't been doing well with all day long. Just missing that forehand approach shot. Long rally, both players playing cat and mouse around the court. Gilbert kind of muffles this backhand, draws a short ball, punishes it, but it just catches the top of the net.
And you know, Agassi was already in position had he made that approach. could see him. He is so quick on that baseline. Great anticipation. Gets set so early to hit those passing shots.
Gilbert said he can't buy that first serve out there wide.
And he could afford to do that, too. Nope. You can see it going long the minute it left Gilbert's racket. Agassi continuing to keep the pressure on the Gilbert serve, once again, is at break point. I tell you, he is concentrating about as hard as we have ever seen him. Very little flourish stuff going on like the old days with the Roses, huh,
Yeah,
Tim?
this could be payback day for Gilbert, beating him last time so easily here in San Francisco.
Oh,
Just great racket work from Brad Gilbert.
Tremendous shot. I mean, he hit that ball right off the shoe tops, Tim. Beautiful forehand volley.
Gilbert with the big serve out wide to the Agassi backhand. This is a very tough shot. He controls it. Agassi has to go back, and then a little drop shot cuts under that ball.
Unbelievable. That is a great point.
As Brad Gilbert would say, beautiful. Great point from Gilbert. Agassi moving like a rabbit again. Full stretch. This is incredible. He even got his racket on this ball. He tries to track this one down.
You know, hitting overheads in this building is not easy, Tim. That big chandelier way up high and the lights glaring down. I was surprised Brad handled that overhead as well as he did.
That's why he bounced it, in fact.
Yeah, good play. On the line, it slid off the line. And so Gilbert, a tough game, holds serve. It's 1-all, second set.
This ball just skimming the outside of the line. Brad comes in. You can see here on this slice approach shot. Good depth. Agassi goes down the line. And too close to call.
Oh, yes.
This is good work from Gilbert, attacking that second serve, because it could be the shortest ball he sees throughout any point. You can see him go inside out, then he yanks that ball down the line.
It's a great-looking forehand. He really follows through, doesn't he, Tim? Interesting contrast, the two forehands. Agassi with that whip shot and Gilbert with a nice flowing follow-through. No, and now Gilbert doing what he has to. Climbing on the second serve. That'll be his only play here, a chance for Gilbert.
Well, when I was able to beat Agassi, this is the play that I used. Took that short serve and came in behind it. Doesn't give Agassi a chance to get his rhythm going. And Agassi's ground strokes are too good to be rallying in the backcourt with him.
Let first serve, the net court judge there, across from the umpire. Oh, yes. No wonder the balls are going dead. That is incredible pace from Agassi.
I can remember playing doubles with Agassi when he first showed that big forehand back in 1987. You can see him launching that first forehand, and then he just unloads on the second one. pounding the ball. I played doubles with Agassi against Gilbert, and Agassi took a serve and hit Gilbert right in the chest with it with a big forehand return. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Great backhand from Agassi.
I still think that's a good play from Brad. Keep some pressure on him. Keep coming in. He's kind of laughing at the shot he hit.
Little facial body English from Brad Gilbert. Just can't believe it.
Yes.
In mid-rally, Gilbert thought this ball was out. You can see good depth. Gilbert looks over. He's waiting for the call. Then he's back in the point.
Wow. And he wins it.
Pretty good concentration with this nice low backhand.
That was a tremendous point. I mean, he really stayed with that cross-court backhand.
I think it's a good play either for Gilbert to come in or to bring Agassi into net.
Ooh, and Agassi missing. Good defense from Gilbert there. Tremendous lob. Almost hit the chandelier up there. That thing was at least 50 feet in the air.
Agassi in good position to hit this overhead. He let it bounce. And the first sort of sign of despair there from Andre Agassi. There's the chandelier the players look into.
Ooh. And there it is. Gilbert with the break. And so Brad Gilbert leading now 2-1 in the second set. Now Gilbert serving to try and get up 3-1. He lost the first set 6-2.
Gilbert continuing to attack. This point set up by the big forehand, big serve that sets up Gilbert's favorite shot, that inside-out forehand. Agassi can't control the passing shot.
Yes. The return set it up, though. Tremendous dropping return.
You hear the Gilbert monologue there in the background. Brad taking a lot of time between points. He told me before the match he wants to slow it down. Agassi loves to play quickly. Gilbert trying to control the momentum.
Looked like he was going up the line and then cross court at the last minute.
Just breaks this forehand off right off the court surface. You can see that ball dipping. Gilbert with no chance.
Here is Barry Gilbert on the edge of his seat.
Why don't you cover it, Brad? Cover the cross court.
Yeah, right. He loves to talk. We had him mic'd up in Scottsdale last year. It was great commentary.
Well, Gilbert got into trouble by coming in with a cross-court approach shot as opposed to down the line, Barry. Really.
Well, you can see how far up Barry Gilbert, he can't get much higher than that. One more row back there, maybe. That's amazing. And he'll keep moving too, Tim, so that Brad never knows where he's sitting. I hear that's the word. Agassi breaking right back to even this second set at 2 games all. Oh, that's a great get.
Forehand. Agassi urging himself on. Agassi gets in a little bit of trouble with the short forehand, but digs himself out of it. Full run. Agassi talking to himself, just pumping himself up.
And Gilbert right back with a smashing cross-court forehand. Hit the line and took off. Andre looking for the same ball that he hit that other great winner.
Gilbert attacking a lot more now in 36 times, winning less than 50% of the points, a testament to Agassi's passing shots.
It's only the 9th time that Agassi has been in, according to that graphic there, so he's 5 for 9. Do you think Agassi will ever develop into a type of player, Tim, that does come in more? I don't think he will. With those kind of ground strokes in the way he plays game and winning Wimbledon from the backcourt, why should he?
Missed return from Gilbert, but I think that to get to number 1, Agassi's going to have to learn to be more comfortable at net. Jim Courier has done it. Michael Chang has done it. And I think it's up to Agassi to learn to move a little bit more efficiently when he's at net and have a little bit better technique.
Though it goes wide, and Agassi quickly jumps down, and so now 3-2 Agassi's second set. Andre Agassi has come roaring back from 2-1 down, broke serve, and then held a spectacular game, and we're seeing some of the best tennis of the match right now. Both players on the full run, hitting out on forehands. Gilbert finally gets a cheap point. I'll tell you, he needs a couple more cheap points. You have to work so hard when you play Agassi. When you played him, Tim, did you feel that there was constant pressure?
Tremendous pressure. You have to get that first serve in. That's the whole key. If you don't, he just starts moving you around the court like a yo-yo. You can see Brad despondent there. He missed that first serve. He knows that if he's forced to hit a second serve, his chances of winning the point are way off.
The chandelier. Well, Citizen is our official timer here this week, and the Citizen Watch Company has become the official timer at this year's U.S. Open. Seems like a long way away, Tim, but we'll be there before you know it. Flushing Meadow and the U.S. Open. And there is the famous chandelier here at the Civic that high lob just hit. Agassi was trying to weave it through that. If it gets through there and doesn't hit anything, hey, it's a live ball. I've seen a few of those at the old Spectrum. You hit some of those in that high building back in Philadelphia. .30 love. Gilbert trying to get even now at 3 games all in the second set. Suddenly Agassi missing. The sense that Agassi, even when he misses a fairly tough shot like that, is very unhappy. He wants to make every point count.
Well, he feels when he gets his racket on any ball, he can do what he wants with it. It's the kind of confidence he's playing with right now.
I liked his reply yesterday, Tim. You said, what are your goals? He says, how about winning every match this year? 57-0 or whatever. Nick Bollettieri there in the blue shirt. I think he's looking down at a pad, a big legal pad. He's been taking notes all week long out here.
And Brad Gilbert holds it love.
This nice transition from Brad Gilbert. Took that short ball and came in behind it.
Well, here's the game, Tim. The 7th game we've talked about so often. This was Gilbert after the point. 3-all, second set. Back on serve now. Gilbert had the break earlier. Let it get away. He's going to towel off now.
Water coming off that bill.
Why is he wearing a hat indoors?
I think his hair is so long, he's able to control the hair a little bit, keep it out of his eyes. Oh, that's great stuff from Agassi. 1-2 combination from Agassi, runs around, inside out, draws the short one, coming to net, but he doesn't need to hit the volley because he makes do with that big forehand approach shot. Pretty much of a cakewalk all week long for Andre Agassi.
Oh, that's a great pickup.
Not believe that point.
Well, let's talk about movement. Andre Agassi on the defensive the whole point. Kicks in that serve. Great pickup here. But this running lob catches Gilbert, and then a full stretch, and he slams that ball across court, pumps his fist.
Just on the baseline.
Oh, that's great. We are seeing some tremendous tennis out here right now. Talk about depth, huh, Tim?
Great forehand from Gilbert. But this slice approach shot, Brad likes to call it slicing the roast beef right down the line, cuts it thin. Perfect shot.
30-15. Agassi now up, but Gilbert's starting to really give him more trouble on his own serve. No. The quality of play now, just about as good as we've seen all week. Tremendous tennis out here, midway in the second set. 3 games all, and
This
30.
is what Gilbert wanted, was a dogfight.
We got it in the second set, no question about it.
Knew he was going to do that. You felt it coming.
Agassi knows that Gilbert's got to commit, just gets that ball back, and then watch. He waits, Gilbert commits, and goes behind him.
So Game point now for Agassi, trying to get to 4-3.
And Agassi holds. And so Andre Agassi leading now 4-3, second set.
On serve, Gilbert down 3-4. Agassi has the first set. This is best of 3 for the championship here. Both these players have won this tournament in the past. Agassi in 1990 right here on this center court, and Gilbert back at the Cow Palace. There was one of those balls again. Tim looked like it was going to carry over the baseline, but the topspin brings it down.
Very short second serve from Gilbert.
Love 15. That's the second serve.
And that was a risky play underway for Brad Gilbert coming in on the second serve.
Comes in again.
Oh, Gilbert just flat-footed. He was waiting for the cross court.
Agassi just freezes Gilbert at the net. Gilbert expecting the cross court, and he's like an Iceman there as that ball goes down the line. Agassi can go cross court with this, but this time he goes down the line. And Brad can't believe that he gave that alley to Andre Agassi.
Oh, it's wide. Gilbert lining up.
Agassi on the full stretch keeps this ball in play, and he forces Gilbert to do too much with it. Just pushes that ball wide.
Agassi has got 90% of all of his returns back in play this afternoon.
That's just an incredible statistic.
He'll get it. And it's there. Agassi clenches the fist up the line. He does not want to lose a point.
So Andre Agassi now serving for this championship. Holds up new balls. No, it's wide. Three points away, 15 love. No, a double fault. Agassi going for a big second serve.
Agassi an overhead from behind the baseline. And so now
Agassi 2 points away.
thought it was a let, but it wasn't. And so Andre Agassi has rolled to a 40-15 lead. He is at match point. double fault. His second of the day. San Francisco, it is deuce. As Barry Gilbert has not changed his chair. Another look here. The pickup from the baseline. Now watch, you can see Agassi just moving to his right. Gilbert hits behind him. And Gilbert, unbelievably, from 40-15 down, has a chance to break and go to 5-4. Ball. It's low. And so Brad Gilbert again gets out of trouble. Unbelievable. 5-4. Agassi, second set. Gilbert trying to get even at 5 games all, serving. And Gilbert does it. A running forehand volley. It's 15 love. Tim Mayotte is at courtside. And Tim, what do you think? What's it like down there?
Unbelievable, Barry. Real sign of nerves there from Agassi. Threw in that double fault. Hard to believe that Gilbert's back in this match because Agassi was just absolutely in the driver's seat.
It's reminiscent of the Renenberg match, which we saw, Tim, where he got out of 4 match points. Gilbert, another ace. Ace number 4 down the center. 30 love. And another ace, number 5, as Gilbert is coming to life here. I cannot believe the points he's played in the last 10 points. You'd never know it from his father. Almost looks like he's fallen asleep up there.
Still hanging his head, Barry Gilbert.
It's incredible. He's watched too much tennis, Tim.
Oh.
And yet another. And so Gilbert with ace number 6. It is 5 games all.
Well, we've heard Agassi talking about how he really wants to learn to play with a lot of focus and in the heat this year. And now he's going to have to show that new medal. You can see Brad Gilbert pumping himself on. Incredible string of 8 points back from the edge.
5 games all, second set. Agassi with the first, 6-2. No, Agassi missing. This is when you really have to concentrate, right, Tim? I mean, Agassi's got to be thinking, how can I let this thing slip away like this?
Because that point would have put Gilbert in the driver's seat in the second set. Nice transition in the net. Great diving volley. And he recovers full stretch, and this ball almost drops over. Watch Gilbert's reaction. They put a spear through his heart.
It floats long.
minute that ball left his racket, Bradley knew it was going to go well over the baseline.
Gilbert broadcasts this return, just goes long. You can see him screaming even as the ball is in flight.
Agassi lets out a roar. We aren't going to see much better tennis than we're seeing right now.
Beautiful passing shot. Agassi screams as he hits this ball for a winner. They've told me to keep it down here, Barry, because I'm so close to courtside. But look at this beautiful backhand from Agassi, pumping his fists.
It's long. Agassi jumps off that baseline. Gilbert has a look. 6-5 Agassi. Second set.
Let first serve. And another let. First serve.
It's good. Andre thought it was wide. That is the 7th ace.
Ace number 7 for Gilbert. Love.
5-6. No. It's long. Just over the baseline, and so Gilbert now 2 points away from the tiebreak.
Gilbert just showing miraculous heart out here.
Look at those net points, Tim. He has been in there 52 times.
Well, he wasn't winning from the backcourt, so he figured he had to come in, and it's paid dividends for him.
No, it's long.
Gilbert's still up 30-15. Now, what does he do here, Tim? Does he take a chance, come in behind a first serve, or stay back?
I think he's got to attack. Barry, he's been successful coming to the net, especially in the latter part of the set here. And he's even been coming in on some second serves. Brad fighting off those nerves with some deep breaths.
Yeah, he did. He really slowed it down. Big serve.
And he lets it go. Andre waiting for the overrule. Let's listen.
Agassi thought for sure that was a fault. Steve Ulrich in the chair will not overrule.
It's 40-15.
Just wide. Short ball.
Agassi.
And Gilbert has a play on this ball. He's in control the whole point. Goes behind Agassi on the full stretch, and Gilbert could have played that ball. Lets it drop. Agassi just hitting a prayer on that one, and it drops in.
Tim, you're right. He could have definitely volleyed that last ball. It was a floater. Still game point for Gilbert, 40-30.
Oof. And Steve Ulrich just called a time violation on Brad Gilbert.
That is amazing. A huge point here. Bradley's laughing it off, but I don't think he's too happy.
Should win it. It's good.
Just an incredible backhand from Agassi. Again, on the full run, Andre Agassi somehow controls his backhand down the line. Slightly mishit that ball. Gilbert thought he was going to win the point, and he can't believe it's in. Should probably clear up that time violation, Barry. Of course, Gilbert taking longer than 25 seconds. That's why Steve Ulrich called the time violation on him.
Ooh, he goes out wide, just catches the tape.
But if that happens again to Gilbert, he'll lose 1 point.
Good play by Bradley there, Tim. Big second serve, huh? Did he take a chance or didn't he?
I'm sure Agassi was moving to his left, trying to get a forehand, and then Gilbert went behind him. There's Barry Gilbert, kind of woken up now that Bradley's back in this match.
Oh, he could have used that. A huge serve down the middle, but it gets called a let. There is the net court judge.
Too good.
Nick working on his notes, continuing to chart this match for his student.
Oh, yes. Ace number 8. And what a time for it. Gilbert, a bomb down the center.
That's the price you pay for going for the big second serves.
Andre had something in his eye, just about ready to play. He says, hold on a second. He's ready.
Yes. Gilbert again, ace number 9.
Gilbert is just determined to go out wide with that first serve. We've seen it all afternoon. This one way up inside the service line, just catching the sideline. I think Agassi should be covering that one out wide.
just wide. Oh, I don't believe it. Gilbert is 15 feet off court over there on the full run.
Gilbert loves to hit that forehand on the run. He's got Agassi at net, committing for the cross court. And this ball just slides wide.
Oh, jeez. That's about as excited as he's gotten today. It's deuce. Fault.
And a double. Bradley serving his 5th double fault of the day. It is match point and championship point again for Andre Agassi.
Gilbert desperately needing a first serve because not only will Agassi have a chance to hit that big forehand off the second, but Gilbert might have a little bit of nerves just getting that second ball in play.
Ooh, he needed that one.
This has always been Gilbert's weakness, his short second serve.
No, Agassi tries to end it all with a bomb.
I have never seen him hit a forehand like that, Tim. Talk about going for it. He went for it all that time.
Well, it's like he ordered that up on the menu. Short second serve right to the roundhouse forehand. And he just missed that forehand long.
No. Agassi lunging for a forehand.
Well, Agassi on the attack this time. Good inside-out forehand. But Gilbert able to control that backhand down the line. Agassi just kind of flails at that high volley. Gilbert has made a living winning matches like this one.
Ooh, it's a good thing it was called fault because Agassi had a great return. He should be happy with that call, huh, Tim?
Yeah, he shouldn't be complaining about the call. That was a perfect winning return.
That's wide. Gilbert has come back. 6-all, we got a tiebreak.
Now, Barry, remember, twice this week, Gilbert's won very important tiebreakers. Of course, he came back to win that second set tiebreaker against Richie Renenberg. He goes down here. I know. And then he won a third set tiebreaker in his first match.
Looked at last year's tiebreak records of these two players. Agassi, 8 and 7. Bradley even at 14.
Gilbert just said time violation. Great running forehand from Gilbert.
Look at him put on the brakes.
Then he tries to change the pace up, goes for the moon ball, and he hits it way long. Gilbert getting a little too fancy.
That first serve. We will stay with this match till its conclusion here on Prime Network. Tremendous drama out here in this second set. We have had it all. Match points for Agassi. Gilbert fighting them off, and now a tiebreak.
Too good. Actually, Agassi slipped just slightly after he made the return. Did you see that, Tim?
He did slip a little bit, Barry. But the key was Agassi did not do enough with this return. You can see mid-court, and he's opened the court up by going around to get that forehand. Gilbert just punches it into the open side.
1-0.
Ball.
Missing, trying to end that point quickly.
And believe it or not, Gilbert a chance now, up 3-1 in the tiebreak. Andre's got to be talking to himself, Tim, with those match points that have slipped away, and there's the coach.
No.
Gilbert will be serving with the mini break, up 3-2. First player to reach 7 points, but must have a 2-point margin, will win this set 7-6.
Gilbert taking a lot of time. He has to be careful because if he gets called for another time violation, he'll lose a point.
And, Tim, if he does it one more time after that, it's a default?
That's right.
He's out?
It's a 3-step process.
Wow.
And the Agassi forehand letting him down once again. Gilbert at 4-2 as they change sides.
Theoretically, it's a ongoing game here, but both players taking a bit of time as they hit that sideline.
A lot of missed forehands from Agassi. This is what Gilbert was talking about before the match. He feels he's a better competitor than Andre Agassi. Of course, he's beaten him 4 times in a row.
Packed house here at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, downtown San Francisco, on a late Sunday afternoon, and we have a match on our hands. Brad Gilbert coming back from the brink, now 4-2 up.
He's on it. Brad Gilbert leading 5-2 in the tiebreak. He lost the first set 6-2. This is the finals of Volvo Tennis San Francisco.
Gilbert and Agassi, as Brad Gilbert has a chance to come back, get even at a set apiece. Agassi earlier had the match points.
No, Agassi again, missing with the forehand.
Set point for Gilbert, 2-6. It's wide. Gilbert backhand pops out, and so Agassi stays alive. Gilbert now serving for the set, up 6-3. He'll have 2 serves. Agassi's going to move well behind that baseline. Now he comes back. Just wide.
Gilbert thought he had that ace, hit the ball boy in the process.
Oh, it's too good.
Agassi just drills the ball.
Finally, Agassi finds that forehand again. Short second serve from Gilbert, and he just punishes it for a winner. Gilbert upset. Knows that second serve was way too short.
Still up, set point, 6-4.
Big serve. That's it. Gilbert holds. And Brad Gilbert has come back We are the centerpiece of Volvo Tennis San Francisco. Stay with us on Prime Network.
Brad Gilbert to serve. First game, third set. Now I think the question is, can Agassi get his game back together? Because he definitely missed way too many forehands in that tiebreak.
I was down courtside, Barry, on the way up. Richard Kaufman, the referee here, gave me a correction on that time violation ruling. He said that the violations go point, 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 point. It's not like the code of conduct in which 3 counts against you and you're gone. It's just one point after another.
I see. So you really, unless you lose enough points, you can't get thrown out of the match for playing slow.
15 all.
Agassi's so tight in that first set, only 8 unforced errors, but look at that, 17, and I bet most of those came at the latter part of the second set. He was just cruising. A number of them in the tiebreaker, as you mentioned. Gilbert pretty consistent through both sets.
Well, if Bollettieri were out there with him, what do you think he'd be saying to Agassi at this point in the match, Tim?
Well, he'd be saying that you've committed yourself to really playing tough tennis, to keeping focused throughout, no matter how tough the matches are going, and this is a chance to prove your mettle. As we've said, Andre has been talking all week long about how he's newly focused and he's willing to grind it out. And this is where he's going to have to prove that he's really committed to his new goals.
It goes wide. That ball hit the sideline. Gilbert's sliding forehand there just caught that sideline. Ball skidded, and Agassi couldn't handle it. And so now Bradley with a chance to go up 1-love in the third.
Gilbert's got to feel good about serving first in this final set. Keeps his nose out front if he can hold serve. I guess he must feel like he's in a rerun of Night of the Living Dead. Sure, he thought he had put Gilbert to sleep there.
This thing looked like it was over about an hour ago. Amazing. No, it's going to go wide. From 40-15 up now, Gilbert finds himself at deuce. As you mentioned, Tim, first game, third set, huge game here because Gilbert definitely has put it back together. He should try and keep it going.
I used to work with my coach Bill Drake on this transition. From set to set's the most difficult because your momentum can fall off a little bit.
And Andre opening up that forehand. Yes.
Oh, it's wide.
And Gilbert had guessed right. Had the ball covered and just flinched on the forehand volley. Both players near the line. You can see great approach shot, kind of a junk, low approach shot. Gilbert was moving to cover the line.
Yep.
And he can't believe it. He knows he read that perfectly.
He really did, Tim. He flowed into that forehand volley there. Great anticipation, but missed the volley. It's a chance for Agassi now to break in the first game of the third set.
Oh, he takes a big chance. And Gilbert double faulting on break point. Agassi leading now 1-love in the third.
Gilbert has not won a title in a few years. 2.5-year drought, in fact. Was in the finals last year in Scottsdale. We saw him lose a tough match to Stefano Pescasolido, so Brad would love to take a title home.
Ooh. Pescasolido, that's the guy with the stand-up forehand, right?
It.
Agassi with a break. 1-love, third set.
This is Gilbert's reaction at the end of the last game. Throws in the double fault, smashes the racket down. Couple errant forehands from Gilbert. Here's Agassi's reaction in that last game when he broke serve running to the net, a la Jim Courier, who often, when he gets a break, he runs to the chair at the sideline. So maybe taking a little bit of Courier's book.
From Agassi on the full run.
This is what makes playing Agassi so hard. You've got him on the full run and he freezes you, puts it on the string and just drops that ball well inside the baseline. Watch how he gets the racket face below the ball and comes up right behind his head.
That was really a nice replay there to watch that racket flip over the head.
Borg used to do that all the time. He used to love that. Flick that ball up. Tremendous topspin.
Great Bjorn Borg was in town with us earlier, Tim. Lost in the first round of Monday night, but boy, did he create some atmosphere. Played a terrific match.
Borg Connors, like
it's like old home week.
Yeah,
here.
1977.
Gilbert down, love 2, third set. No.
And suddenly Gilbert's forehand going off, his favorite shot. Gilbert has to be very careful. He can't afford to get down 2 breaks in this third set. That's really what turned him around in the second set. He was down 1 break and was able to fend off Agassi's attempt to get up 2 breaks.
Yes. One of his best volleys.
Gilbert crunching that forehand volley that time.
Nice combo from Brad Gilbert. Good lean. You can see him leaning into the court there. Gets him into the court quickly. And then he just punches off the easy volley. I think Gilbert's volley is one of the most improved shots in tennis. I played Brad Gilbert 1979 when I was at Stanford. He was at Foothill College, and Brad Gilbert did not have a volley to speak of, nor did he have a backhand, but he still managed to beat me.
Tremendous angle off that two-hander.
The crowd going bananas. They love this. Another topspin lob. Gilbert gets up for a good overhead, but Agassi's all over it. Somehow bends this ball off. Incredible angle. See, you missed hit it.
Yeah.
Kind of shanked that ball. But as they say, shank you very much.
This match now 2 hours old. Is he having a chat with Steve Ulrich now. Something's bothering back there. Steve Ulrich in the chair from Tampa, Florida, one of the veteran umpires. No, again the forehand. Well, we've only played 2 games in this third set, Tim, and I'll look at the unforced errors and winners.
And he's had 5 unforced forehand errors alone in this set. Well, Agassi's going to be camping out, looking for that short forehand off the second serve of Gilbert.
Get out.
You can hear Bradley telling that ball to get out.
Gilbert won that point with good penetration on that second serve. Was able to get it to the Agassi backhand.
Oh, yes. And Gilbert serves ace number 10. Agassi leading in the third, 2-1.
Agassi serving now in the 4th game of the third set, leading 2-1 with a break.
Oh, incredible forehand from Andre Agassi.
You think Gilbert maybe is getting a bit tired, Tim?
He could be, Barry. Let's watch this Agassi forehand. He's backpedaling, still able to generate a lot of pace, but it's the positioning that wins that point right on the sideline. That's a good point, though, Barry. Gilbert has not played a lot of competitive tournament tennis this year. It's his first outing for 93. Missed the Australian Open with a sore leg. So he may be getting a tad tired.
Actually, Gilbert and Aaron Krickstein worked out here for about 3 weeks in early January, starting in early January, Tim, and unfortunately Aaron's foot did not respond, and so he was unable to play. He was hopeful he could start here. Oh.
Beautiful. On the full run, again, that running forehand from Gilbert. You can see Agassi keeps this ball in play with a good dipping forehand himself. He's covering the cross court. You can see him staying put, but Gilbert goes down the line for the winner.
No. Gilbert's hitting those kind of shots that say, I'm going to go for it, but I'm not coming back. I'll tell you, that forehand, unbelievable shot.
This is what has made Gilbert throughout the years. You think he's gone, and he just keeps coming back. He's always in your face. Agassi playing a great, tight third set here. Only 1 unforced error.
Again, Gilbert going for it.
And so Andre Agassi holds serve. He leads 3-1, third set. This is best of 3 for the championship. Kickoff tournament on the 1993 IBM ATP Tour. A lot of tennis ahead of us, Tim. Tennis all over the world this week as Nick Bollettieri studies his notes.
So, in the third set, Agassi stormed ahead 5-2. We rejoin it now with Agassi serving for the match at 5-2. Just out. And full marks to both these players for playing so well in this final. First tournament of the year. I'm sure they'll both be very pleased with their performance this week. Yes. Manages to run around his backhand, so quick on his feet. The average player would have played a backhand there, but Agassi just so quick on his feet. Oh, that's a pity, really. Still, Brad Gilbert's done well. He saved 3 match points. But now he finds himself with another match point to save. In fact, it's 3 match points. Serving for the championships, 40 love. There it is. A delighted Andre Agassi, winning the first tournament of the year for him. Great effort from Brad Gilbert. Andre Agassi wins 6-2, 6-7, 6-2. An absolute delighted Agassi, ever popular with the crowd. And there's the result. 6-2, 7-6 to Brad Gilbert and 6-2. And the next tennis is the Comcast Metrophone in the US Indoor Championships. Semi-final and final coverage from Screen Sport. I hope you enjoyed the Volvo San Francisco final from here. Paul Hutchins thoroughly enjoyed here